Welcome to Anime with Annie. Today's recap will be on the series Death Parade from episodes 1 to 6 of Season 1. So make sure to stay tuned until the end and hit the subscribe button if you're happy with what I recapped. That said, let's get started. Episode 1. Takashi and Machiko, a newlywed couple, exit elevators without knowing where they are or how they got there. They enter a mystery bar, where Desum the bartender welcomes them to Quintadem. Desum inquires about the couple's memories. Takashi can only recall the two of them driving along a highway in a convertible while on their honeymoon. Machiko concurs with him. Desum extends his gratitude to the two of them before describing the scenario. Number 1. He is unable to provide them with their whereabouts. Number 2. A game will now be played by the two of them. Number 3. Roulette will be used to select the game. Number 4. The game will be the stipulation for the two. Number 5. Until the game is over, they are unable to leave. Takashi and Machiko attempt to escape in disbelief but are unable. They go back to Desum and decline to participate in the game. Desum warns them that against it and shows them a room full of bodies that have been strung up. Takashi and Machiko now fear for their lives and decide to participate in the game. Takashi activates the roulette by pressing a button. Darts is the game that's been chosen. 2 dartboards rise from the floor and a corner of Quintessum glows with gold light. Desum now lays forth the guidelines. They each begin with 501 points and 7 darts. After all the darts are thrown, the winner is whoever reaches 0 or has the lowest score. In addition, each dartboard portion is connected to a different part of the player's body and will hurt them if struck. Takashi and Machiko are dubious until they hurl a dart at each other and hurt each other. Takashi is now completely persuaded, but he still doesn't understand how someone could harm someone's body in this way. He approaches Desum and challenges him to explain what he's done to him. Desum tells him that he hasn't done anything after taking his time. Desum advises Takashi to miss with their remaining darts if they don't want to be hurt. But if the game ends with the score it is now, he loses. Machiko inquires after Takashi's return as to the outcome. When Takashi tells her about Desum's suggestion, she enthusiastically concurs. 4 turns in a row to see the two miss their intended objectives. Takashi remembers the room full of bodies and the fact that he is staking his life on the game as he throws his 6th dart. He throws his dart erratically, hitting the dartboard and inflicting pain on Machiko, while also taking the lead. He offers an immediate apology. They take a rest, then continue playing. Machiko stumbles as she releases her 6th dart because the pain is returned. Her dart hits the dartboard, hurting Takashi and giving her the advantage once more. Takashi's in pain, starts to believe Machiko wants to hurt him, so she can win. Despite Machiko's insistence that it wasn't her fault, he gets up unfazed. He prepares to throw his final dart, but Machiko grabs her stomach and begs him not to since the infant might be hurt. According to Machiko, she planned to surprise him with the news on their honeymoon. Takashi is calmed by this because she'd recently been feeling more exhausted. He apologizes and gives her a hug, acknowledging his readiness to be a father. He gets up to toss one final dart. He has a flashback of overhearing conversation on his wedding day just before the dart is about to leave his palm. The stomach region is hit by the dart, tying his score with Machiko's. Machiko thinks it was deliberate on his part. The man starts to explain that he thinks Machiko is cheating on him the entire time without either admitting or denying it. He continues by saying that he overheard her 2 friends say that Machi is lucky to have found someone who's so eager to meet her requirements while also being married. He gives up on his hopes of having a happily ever after with Machiko after hearing her refute his suspicions and approaches her lone dart. Then Takashi asks Desum whether he can borrow someone else's darts. Desum responds that who tosses the dart is relevant. What matters is where it lands. Takashi claims that the entire game is rigged and that no one has ever been able to win it alone. Takashi wonders what will happen once the winner is decided, knowing that one of them will ultimately lose. Desum replies that he cannot respond to such a query. Takashi grabs her dart and gets ready to throw it, making fun of Machi and joking that she should be prepared to lose something, because she never loses at home. Machiko steps up and informs him that Yuki Machida is the true owner of the moniker Machi, proving to him that he was mistaken in his assertions. She explains why he's actually mistaken. He rushes up, horrified, to apologize, but Machiko grabs the dart out of his hand. Machiko is having flashbacks of their romance as she tosses the dart. From their initial encounter to their springtime cruise, kissing, resting in bed, her taking a pregnancy test, and finally their wedding. Machiko wins and breaks Takashi's heart when her dart strikes the target. To try again, Takashi rushes up and grabs the darts from the board, but Machiko stops him because she knows they're already dead. Desum attests to their demise. Quintessum exists to administer judgment to the dead, since humans are either sent to heaven or hell. Participants in a game who pass away at the same time are encouraged to participate. Takashi has another memory and recalls when he first started to believe Machiko was cheating on him. He also recalls accompanying them on their honeymoon, but during a furious rage, he smashed the car while attempting to steal her phone. He is devastated and begs Desum to intervene because he must be God. Desum asserts that he is simply an arbiter and refutes this. Then Takashi accuses Machiko of having a child with someone else. Machiko makes an attempt to persuade Takashi that she wasn't unfaithful, but when she notices how lost Takashi is, Machiko turns around and walks away crying. Then she says she was lying to him and only wanted his money. She flashes back to her having an affair while displaying regret. Then Takashi tries to stab her with one of his darts, but Desum stops him by using his ability to create or control wire. Before knocking Takashi out of the game, Desum declares that a decision has been made and that the game is ended. Desum bids them farewell as he leads the pair back to their elevators. Above Machiko's elevator is a no mask of an Oni, while above Takashi's is one of a woman/geisha. Scenes from Takashi and Machiko's wedding are shown throughout the credits, and one of them features Yuki's wedding invitation, proving Machiko's claim that Yuki is the real reason why she doesn't love Takashi is a lie. A short blue-haired woman named Nona and a black-haired woman are described as Desum's new assistants after the credits. Nona gives Desum praise. After expressing his gratitude, he gives the new girl's opinion. She finds it to be awful. Nona says she'll adjust to it. Then the woman with black hair inquires as to where each person went. Desum validates Nona's theory that Machiko's soul was transported to the void, while Takashi's was sent to be reincarnated. The episode then comes to an end after the black-haired woman asks another question. Episode 2. Nona brings a black-haired woman to the Quincidem where she is tasked with serving as Desum's assistant. As she explains the purpose of the games, Nona leads the woman backstage to see the dart match between Machiko and Takashi. After the game's conclusion, the player is left with the impression that Machiko only had a single affair, which she later regretted, and that in order to save Takashi's soul, she lied about the father of her child. Desum is surprised by this and apologizes for maybe having made a bad decision. Later, Nona is observed in a different home reading the children's book, Shavot. Episode 3. For a different game, 2 additional amnesiac teenagers arrive at the Quincidem. 10-pin bowling is the chosen game. The hearts inside the balls beat in time with the emotions of their owners. As the game progresses, the 2 become friends and start to remember bits of their past. The girl remembers that she was a girl named Chisato Mizaki who was once Shigeru's childhood friend before she moved away. And the guy remembers that he was a college student named Shigeru Mura. Shigeru then remembers that he and Chatso both passed away while riding on the same bus. And Chisato also remembers additional details about her own past. Shigeru asks Chisato for a quick date with an estimate of the remaining time after winning the match. They say goodbye at the elevators, content that they got to spend time together. Then it is revealed that Chisato was actually Mai Takada, Shigeru's other childhood friend who had cosmetic surgery to make her resemble Chisato in an effort to attract Shigeru's attention. Both of them are being sent to a future life. Episode 4. Yusuke Tatashi, a young person, and Masaki Tachibana, a famous TV personality, arrive at the Quincidem. Yusuke is instructed to act appropriately by Masaki, who is certain they are being filmed on a hidden camera show. The 2 play as warriors modeled after each other in an arcade fighting game. The first round is won by Yusuke, while Masaki is suddenly reminded of violent lovers. Desum activates a device during the next round, breaking Yusuke's joystick as she begs him to let her win. The second round is won by Masaki, and Yusuke had a flashback to his own difficult upbringing. Once they learn that they are not on a television show, Masaki develops the fear that she'll be killed if she loses. Desum breaks Masaki's joystick when she performs a special technique, claiming that this is required to reveal a soul's darkness and render judgment. Yusuke is knocked out cold by Masaki's physical assault on him in a last-ditch effort to win. Masaki regrets what she did, but Desum pushes her to play the game nevertheless. When Yusuke regains consciousness, he responds with a unique move of his own, and the contest ends with a double knockout. They both come to terms with their deaths afterward. Yusuke killed himself while Masaki was murdered by her rage assistant. Masaki is sent to the void, while Yusuke is sent to be reincarnated again by Desum. Episode 5. The black-haired assistant is shocked to see the same girl in a panel. Nona asks Desum to place her behind the bar since she has been seen having repeated dreams involving a male and a girl. A father and a small boy are the second set of newcomers to the pub. Desum is shocked as the man starts to act violently and claims to have been there previously. The small child, who's revealed to be another arbiter in disguise named Jinti, puts both Desum and the helper to sleep as he restrains the guy. Jinti claims that despite his assistant's death, Desum is still passing judgment. Desum confronts Jinti for being disobedient, but Nona stops them by saying that the visitors were there as a part of a test for Desum. She reveals that Desum was preoccupied with the man who was a dummy with memories implanted, and didn't realize the youngster had no memories. Later, as the assistant is having new dreams about Jimmy and Chivat, the same youngsters that appear on the book's cover, Nona can be seen once more reading the book. Episode 6. Arriving at Jinty's arbiter bar, a giddy schoolgirl named Maya Areta and a member of a well-known boy band named Harada are forced to play a game of Twister. Mayu's thrilled to perform with a member of her favorite band, but Harada is more focused on getting back together with his girlfriend. When Mayu and Harada demand a break, Jinty modifies the game, making the playing mat climate fluctuate from heated to very cold, with each panel they tread on. Mayu and Harada are abruptly placed in a near-death predicament above a pit of spikes. Harada is ready to push Mayu off in order to save himself, when Mayu makes the decision to give up and let herself fall. Harada reaches out to grab her, feeling bad for causing one of his ex-girlfriends to commit suicide. Mayu releases Go in an effort to save him, but instead of perishing, she lands safely on rubber spikes. Then Mayu remembers that she died after sliding on some soap, and Harada remembers that his lover killed him in retaliation for her sister's suicide, who was his ex-girlfriend. After Mayu dons a kimono, Harada shows interest in her, and the two of them collaborate to provide a concert for the entire staff. And that concludes my recap for the Death Parade series from Season 1 of Episodes 1 to 6. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, Anime with Annie, for more such exciting anime content and reviews. And please leave comments about what you thought of today's video. And remember, have an Annie-mazing day.